So enough about the foundation for now. Now we'll have a look at creating a wooden beam. So the load-bearing part of this wall, this inner wall, would be a wooden construction. So I'll create a new family based on the template metric generic model line based. We already have one dimension here controlling the length of this beam that we are going to create. So we need to have a few more reference plane controlling the width and the height of this beam that we are going to create. So I create a couple of reference planes here. As we did before, I create a couple of dimensions as well. It need to be centered around this reference plane here, so I start by creating this and press equal distance. I create another dimension, select it, and create a parameter. This time I want to control the dimensions in this family editor, creating some predefined dimensions. So that's why I leave this as a type parameter. So this might be the width of the beam. And if we go to a view where we can see from this direction and that way, we can go to right, and then we create another reference plane up here. Like that. We add a dimension, select it, add a type parameter, height, like this. So before we create the geometry, I would like to control. It's also always a good idea to control, are the reference planes working as they should. So I go here, say family type. I then create a new family type. So I'll create a beam, a 45. The height will be 45 and the width should be 195. I click apply. And then we have the dimensions here. If I go to the top view or the reference level, you'll see that the width is now 195 and it's centered around this reference plane here. If I go here again and then create a new one, new type called 195 by 45 millimeter, and change the height to 195 and the width to 45 and say apply, then we see it works as it should. So right now I have only this type. Actually, if I forgot to save that, I created before, so I create a new one called 45 by 195, like this. Change the dimensions and click apply. Then we can see it will work out fine here. So I say OK to this, And now I can then create the actual geometry. So I say extrusion, I say rectangle, I snap to the reference lines, I lock the constraints to the reference planes, I press OK, and then go to the right view and drag this along this reference plane and log it. We could go to a 3D view to see how it works when we change the type from 45 by 195 to an upright laying beam. So now I have created, in this family, I have created two types. So let's see what happened when I load this into the project. Again, first of all, it's a good idea to save this. And I then load this into the project. It looks like they're the same. Let's see what happened when I model from A to B here. If I select and choose the different type. Okay, so it was only the image up here that was not updated. As you can see, it lays down as it's supposed to be. The work plane is on top of the damp-proof course. If I go to level 1, because I want to align this to the back side of this foundation, so I aligned it. And I can then adjust the length of it as well. So since I made those different types, I can then go into here and say edit type. Then I can duplicate this. If I, for example, want to have 145 beams instead, then I can change it in the project. I don't have to go back into the family editor to change it.